However, because it was described as a quantum computer instead of a quantum instrument, people have a notion about what a computer is.
We got most traded Snap, 22 million shares, then Nvidia, 12 million shares, Tesla, Palantir, Intel, and NEO, Pinduoduo, which reported earnings and is down a little bit, D-Wave down 3%, Alibaba down 4.5%. Beacon Roof Supply, SoundHound, and Apple round out the most traded by shares. On gainers, Optinose, a nasal inhalation drug company, up quite a bit, 57%. Accenture, huge market cap, down 8%, big drop. Polaris, Evotech, Xpeng, NEO, all down 5, 6, 7%. Maze, Pearson, down 5%. Microchip, down 5%. Stellantis, down 4%. So Supermicro, Robinhood, Goldman, McLovin, AppLovin, and Micron. If those two combined, it would be McLovin, Micron, and AppLovin. Okay, so that's most. Let's see what's going on in the rest of the tape. Yeah, slight strength or comeback in quantum right now. So that's interesting. I wouldn't pay attention to anything to the current bid ask. Yeah, pre-market's always a little squirrely. So what time is our big call? Is it noon Eastern? I mean, you can't even talk about Robinhood as a serious thing because they don't even allow shorting. Why not write a script to do what you're doing? What am I doing? Khalil, I mentioned you get 20 years for a patent, 17 from issue date or 20 from filing date, whichever is lower. You do get development time credited back with Hatch-Waxman exclusivity. What else? So if your patent is running out, you know, you're going to have to rely on statutory exclusivities, which are 7 years for orphan drugs and 5 years for all new chemical entities. So the most you can get from the statutory perspective is 5 to 7. I'm not sure. I think most corporate earnings are a little hard to sort of parse because of the amount of adjustments and things like that you have to make, and that's kind of normal. You know, Buffett certainly talks a lot about, you know, EBITDA and some of these other things are kind of fake, but you just have to be careful kind of interpreting corporate earnings a bit. Yeah, we can keep looking at AMD. You know, it's gonna just have to learn the industry. You know, learn a little bit, little by little. I didn't know so many people watch me. I appreciate it. We look at our market maker. This is a program I'm developing for you guys. Why are my dates off? That's a little worrisome. Didn't I update this for yesterday? Yeah. All right, sign up for GoDellTerminal.com. Quantitative investing. See if we got any profits today. Got a weird situation with 2 positions that I've decided to work out manually. A lot of bugs still here. The whole point of these systems is you never override them. I was one of Thinkorswim's first users in 2005? 2006. It was only available for institutions. All right, let's look at some stocks. These are almost all foreign stocks. There's one American stock. Let's see, what are France's biggest companies? We have LVMH. I didn't think, I guess was French, but I guess it is. LVMH, Hermes, L'Oreal, and Schneider Electric. Then Essilor, Airbus, Sanofi, Christian Dior, Safran, Air Liquide, Vinci, Dassault, Compagnie de Saint-Gobain, Danone, Kering, Thales, Capgemini, Orange, Legrand, Publicis. Yeah, some companies. All right, we'll look at Hermes. Hermes? I should stop saying Hermes, right? Hermes. Okay, so with this, we will have starter models for quite a lot of the largest companies in the world. The top 40 or so, excluding financials, I guess. Whatever. I haven't reviewed the Pinduoduo Q4 yet. I don't trade defense stocks. Okay, so this is going to be priced in euros. It's like 2,515 euros. Even their stock price is luxury. Literally, they sell bags. So 105 million shares outstanding. It is 2,500 euros a share. roughly the price of one of their bags. Exactly, Shake. You know, with all this volume in quantum, it's going to end poorly. They should not be the most traded stocks on the planet. Leather goods and saddlery. Women's and men's bags, travel items, small leather goods, accessories, saddles, bridles, and all equestrian objects and clothing. Ready to wear. So that's 6 billion out of 15. Voilà. Le modèle de Hermes. Je m'appelle Baggy. Wow, Hermes is so profitable, it's insane. 4658, off by 5, presumably due to rounding. This is off by 22, that seems off. Non-controlling interests make earnings smaller. Yeah, I definitely want to hire some local people in Europe for 𝗙𝗂𝗑𝗪 when the time comes. Maybe you guys can help me. I probably need some Germans and some London blokes. Yeah, we're looking at Hermes right now. So it's a weird company, 15 billion in revenue, but 5 billion at most in net income. Which still puts it at 50 times. It will do salespeople in Europe. Not too many hedge funds in the Balkans, Luca. And I don't know, one guy we might hire says that we should keep all these people in New York, the salespeople, and they can just, if they have to travel, they can travel. If they have to call the clients, they can call the clients, but there's no sense in not doing it in New York. Well, it's doing lousy for now. Market's up 40 basis points, so it basically just shorted everything. Celtics have been sold for $6 billion. 6th Street and William Chisholm. What you call something, somebody else will call something else, and it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, let's look at the balance sheet. Imagine learning French business. Business French. The European financials on the balance sheet are listed in reverse order, so the least liquid comes first. The most liquid comes last. They have 3 billion of PP&E, which is interesting. I'm assuming it's just all leather working. Maybe they have some cows. Cows wouldn't be in PP&E though, because a cow is a long-lived asset, but only if you expect the cow useful life to be more than a year. That's a tough one. How would you put the, where would you put the cow on the balance sheet? Yeah, I want to short Carvana. Looks like no debt. If you have breeding cows, I would definitely put them as PP&E. Okay, how about look cash flow? Yeah, that's weird, you know? It's got a really pricey valuation. It's a luxury valuation. What do you guys, would you guys pay 50 times? I mean, it's growing. They're kind of dominant in high-end fashion, but 13% revenue growth? You were bullish, Zalton? I'm bearish. Although they are growing, so it's like it's tough to deny it until they stop growing. Yeah, that is a good quote, very quotable. Okay, so they call CapEx, in this case, operating investments. We'll just call it CapEx, the American way. So 4 billion free cash flow. You know, it did grow 17% year over year, but yeah, still 250 billion market cap. So you're paying 63 times earnings. It's a pretty lean company, actually. 23,000 employees. That's not much for their market cap. Maybe that's a sign. Q4 was a banger. They did 18% growth. They're doing a constant currency 15% growth. Wow. They have a little bit of jewelry. Textile printing, tanning. Okay, let's see. The biggest geographies for them are China. China's the slowest growing too. They're growing more in the Middle East and the US. Yeah, so it's a good chunk Chinese. So I'm guessing these guys have just a crazy multiple for one. I mean, they're growing really fast. Hermes Arcan. This is Arcan bag. How do I shop for it? I want an Arcan. Hermes Arcan. I don't think it's for sale. $5,000 for the petite. 6,000 regular size. Special editions, 9,000 and 11,000. Gotta get this for my girl. What else do they have? This is more of a clutch, I think they call it. But there is a strap. I don't know much about purses, but this is $7,000 or $8,000 out of stock. $8,000 and out of stock. How about that? Downturn in traffic in China. Tell me that's not bearish. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a crazy, like, it seems like, well, let me look at it a little bit more, because if they're really growing this fast, it's possible that, you know, they keep growing. I'm a little suspicious. I don't think the growth is all price. I think it's units too. Yeah, I don't think any economic downturn is going to matter. The rich keep buying to flex on the poors. I suppose so. Let's see what cash flow was way back when. All right, so it's pretty lumpy. 3.7, 3.5, 4.1. Even if they do 5 in cash flow, I'm not paying 50 times for this. Depends on how much they can keep growing. It is like ultra luxury compared to LVMH. Yeah, there's really no alternative, huh? Oh, they'd sell Birkin as well. Jane Birkin. Yeah, I mean, I don't know this market, so I know what Birkin bag is, and no, that's theirs too. Yeah, the growth is impressive here, I have to say. I mean, they put it down. Yeah, pretty rare to have this kind of double-digit growth. Pretty impressive. So 2.8 to 4.1 in cash flow growth, 9 bill revenue to 15 bill revenue. Yeah, maybe not a short, but LVMH is, I think, more attractive. They don't have the hyper growth these guys do. Yeah, from 6 billion to 15 billion over 5 years. I mean, you don't see that kind of growth in Europe. 41% revenue growth. It's like, gotta be an acquisition, right? Tesla, I don't know how the quarter's going. It seems like it's possible they're gonna have a rough quarter. In the long run, I'm sure it'll be fine, but this is all China, so it's not stimulus. Brand is a mode. Yeah, brand is mode. It's like the definition of mode. Yeah, I wonder if they do tariffs or something like that. That could hurt the company a bit. Okay, so cash flow quadrupled and revenue tripled, roughly 2.5x, while cash flow 4x'd. What can they do? 8 billion in cash flow at some point? It's still too expensive. Yeah, it's sort of like, no, I would not agree with that, DC. Just because the stock is down does not make it statistically a good opportunity at all. Do not believe that. The stock market does not have gravity. What goes up doesn't necessarily have to come down, and vice versa. I think that's a lot of people make that mistake. I don't think Tesla is over. Cucinelli's good, yeah. Brioni is definitely the goat suit. We should refresh looking at Tencent. That'd be good. Let's look at what Godelians want me to look at. Requests. AVXL patent to treat brain atrophy. Yeah. That's it. Well, first of all, brain atrophy isn't a disease. Second of all, they have no patents because the drug's so old. So basically it's just a Hail Mary. All right, Airbnb, DGNX, Jeffries. Okay, so this is a foreign company, so they file foreign SEC filings. Yeah, we're gonna look at Diginex. Really strange Chinese company, probably a great short here. Is this real? How is this real? Chat, are you seeing this right now, chat? Is this real? $100,000 in the bank? That's real? It's not shortable. The bid ask is 95 by 103. Yeah, so there's no real way to trade this. It's kind of like a manipulated stock. But if you could short it, borrow and short it, I certainly would. Definitely a scam co though. That's not just sketchy, that's just a scam. I mean, and look how the stock's gone up. You could probably squeeze this pretty easily to 200 or 300. Remember that HKD? Probably partial money laundering and things like that. I mean, someone's buying luxury. I think it's some rich people buy luxury. You're coming all the way from Nepal to ask me a question, and you want to know how much money I have? A lot of people want to know that. I ain't saying. I like Robinhood management, actually. Yeah, thank you. What a fade, huh? Straight down. I kind of wanted to bounce to short it, but look at this was just like some fat finger, I think. Maybe they thought the news came out again or something? Well, SREP does not go in my way, so usually when a trade doesn't go your way, it's time to just kill it and move on. Gilead, though, I want to stick it out a little bit longer. All my 106s are probably busted. These are 1 minute Candles. Gilead's a great long-term play. They basically are making the cure for HIV. Wow. This thing's dropping like a rock. I love it. I mean, technically this chart looks like higher highs and higher lows. So we'll see if it breaks the support here. But no, this is just a one-day chart. I don't know what the difference between day trading and swing trading is. And I've been investing since '98. I mean, I like to trade such that I make money. Sometimes that means I have to hold a position for a long time. Sometimes it means I have to hold a position for a short time. Sometimes it means I have to go to war with a company. Sometimes it means I have to create a company. A lot of optionality. So I don't have one specific strategy. Swing trading doesn't sound right though. I don't know what that is. I think the nuclear bubble will blow up, Dusty. I think it's too early. I'm sure you could trade at $2,000. I don't think you should. Well, you know, the thing about investors is even investors have to enter trades.
They say the qubits, they're more powerful than the regular bits. They can encode large amounts of arbitrary information, real numbers, complex numbers. For all you idiots, that's the one with that little eye. You see the eye. The imaginary plane. Sometimes I think these Democrats are imaginary. You go in the black sphere, 3 dimensions, degrees of rotation. You entangle the qubits. Just like Nancy Pelosi's finances are entangled. You put them in superposition, that's the position I'm in. I'm always in the superposition, I have all the cards. You don't have the cards. Me and Vance, we're in superposition. You might say Elon's in superposition as well. These are the cyber geniuses, everything is computer. Quantum computer. Jade. Quantum.
You want quantum? Then I'm gonna be the one to give it to you. Pause. Unless you're ionq, then you give up and pivot to quantum networking. Never give up, baggy. Keep doubling down on that Robinhood account. This is for all the baggies out there. Don't give up. All my baggies in the back, let's go.
It's not a loss. You don't lose until you sell. Just keep holding those shares, baby. It'll come back. This is a banger for you in the back. All the Rigetti fans, let's go. Throw up your 9-qubit machines. Throw them up in the air. Let me see your 9 qubits. Can you factor a million-digit number?
Nvidia founder and CEO, Jensen Huang.
They're not. They
How
SPAC'd.
can a quantum computer company be public? Anyhow,
Ask yourself that question.
Companies, I'm very happy for them.
How could it even be
Yes, I'm very
public?
happy for them.
How's it possible?
So I said, listen, the world's got this wrong. However, because it was described as a quantum computer instead of a quantum instrument, people have a notion about what a computer is. You know, you should be able to run Excel super fast. And you know that every respectable computer should be able to run Crisis, the game.
In some sense, the word quantum computer is misleading because people expect that you can replace a computer, a classical computer, with a quantum one. It's not like that. It's more like very complementary. We like to call our machines like quantum processors, like very specialized machines.
So I'm actually struggling with the concept. I don't know how to think of a quantum computer as an instrument when it's being used for materials discovery, when it's being used for blockchain.
You know, this whole session is going to be like a therapy session for me.
Is he cutting it off from 2 hours to 1 hour?
Quantum computer.
This is supposed to be 2 hours.
Computation.
I think it's important also, Jensen, to define terms too, because there's, not to confuse things.
A million?
And then there's error correction.
A million?
Error correction.
Bro, we're at 40, bro.
Key to the kingdom here. And so the ratio of physical qubits to error corrected logical qubits, it once was thought to be.
We're never going to get there. So that's the kind of...
These guys are very reasonable and much smarter, and because they're not public, they don't have to lie.
And I think it's going to take the combination of classical computers and GPUs and everything.
D-Wave, hard to borrow. ionq, hard to borrow. Rigetti, hard to borrow.
Resource.
Yeah, I mean... you're not going to have a catalyst for 3 years, basically. I don't think Jensen's going to do next year's one. I mean, he was sort of snide the whole time. Like he just said, if quantum computing is even worth doing. You don't say that kind of stuff unless you have a Freudian predisposition. Like he's probably said privately that it's not worth doing. So, you know, it doesn't look like he's changed his mind in particular. And what's great is that, you know, I can just sort of tell, you know, kind of having been the CEO for a long time myself, when he hears specific numbers and stuff like that. So when he hears certain numbers like, oh, you have 50 to 100 qubits, he's like, okay, I can't wait to see that. And then they're like, oh, we don't really have a single qubit. So he's like, okay, next year I'll see you with those qubits, right? And they're like, yeah, next year. Did you see he did that like 3 or 4 times? He was like really trying to like nail down like, okay, well, what do you have? Are you going to do demos? You want to do demos next year? He keeps like, you know, pinning them down on like little, oh, okay, 1,000 qubits, right? I can go do that. I can use it right now. I mean, the ionq press release was fraudulent, and Chapman was 12% faster than even your. First of all, he used an Intel Xeon from 6 years ago, single-threaded, and he can only beat it by 12%. Oh man, Abacus can beat an Intel Xeon from 6 years ago, single-threaded. Who is crazy enough to say I'm 12% faster than a CPU from 6 years ago? Who would ever do that? They put me in jail. Let's get sloppy. Let's get ionq below 20. Let's get Rigetti below 8. And D-Wave, I think we could see 5 very soon. I want to see 5 on D-Wave. I also think it was probably great that like the publicly traded bag companies and their bag holder shareholders are probably realizing, wow, there's a lot of quantum computing companies. And they're all talking about more achievements than my guys. Like, again, I like the Rigetti guy, but after watching all that, are you really saying Rigetti is the winner? The guy is so timid and meek. Or ionq, where they're selling millions of dollars of stock and the CEO can't even participate in the quantum, in like a technical discussion. Or D-Wave, God forbid. The guy wants to fight with Jensen? That's not the way. It's not the way, bro. Not like this. Not like this. I like that he put like the big companies last. Like, all right, let's talk amongst ourselves. I mean, really, you'll see Jensen move with his feet. Like, he's got the biggest computer company in the world. He's not doing quantum. He said that 100 times. Let's see if he changes his mind after this. If he changes his mind after this, I don't know if that's bullish or bearish. I would think it's bearish for these guys. But it's also bullish they're onto something. Yeah, NVIDIA's not really opening up a quantum lab because they're really just providing GPUs. That's the only thing they're doing, which is like, they're hoping that this could be a vertical for them. Just, you know, that's what Jensen was saying. Just like where we sell chips to autonomous vehicles, we want to sell chips to these guys too. Quantum Day was lit. I think we accomplished a lot. Alan is just such a con artist. You know, he's saying NTT Docomo is using annealers now in production. That's just completely false. If they were, NTT Docomo would buy a computer just like the Germans did.